The Phantom Menace is one of the most controversial films in the Star Wars franchise, probably because it was the first in the prequels, a topical trilogy, and overall, it's a bit of a mixed bag. I forgot about half of this movie, so when I saw it as a re-release for May the 4th and its 25th anniversary, it felt like I was seeing something new. But just because it feels new doesn't mean it's good. This movie is just weird, first and foremost, to put it bluntly. Like, why did they make Darth Vader a 9-year-old? Why did Maul only get 3 lines? Why is there no music in the whole pod race scene except the final half of the last lap? That actually annoys me because there's no tension. And why did the twist with Padme not affect the plot whatsoever besides the case? Listen, I really like the romance in the Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, but here it just feels so weird. You have your driver's permit, or I guess flyer's permit in this universe, and are literally the queen. Why are you falling for a 9-year-old? Better question, why is a 15-year-old the queen? There's just little stuff in this movie that I don't get. But overall, I think it's still kind of good. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan have good chemistry. Duel of the Fates is obviously amazing. The music is just so good. The practical effects look great. The CG is very dated, as you would expect for a 99 flick. And overall, it's just a weird movie that fans got way too angry about. And I'll say it, I don't really hate Jar Jar. He is a little annoying, but the idea that he is a secret Sith Lord is honestly so entertaining that it makes his character really likable. Also, my dad and sister watched every other Star Wars movie after this, and I was in the room for most of them, but I was not watching that stuff or I was dissociating. I then decided to watch Hundreds of Beavers after watching Schaeferless Productions' video on it, and I am so thankful I did. This movie has such silly editing and a tone that works so well for the absurd story being told. A lot of people are explaining it as a live-action Looney Tunes cartoon, and that's probably one of the best explanations I could give. I love the slapstick and the running gags that never get overused and even play into the plot and how the Applejack salesman grows his trapping skills and develops them as the story goes on, which is really entertaining and also really funny and works for the world that we're being introduced to. Honestly, I've seen some people saying that this movie would work better as an animated movie, but I think that the cartoonish elements mixed with the live action make this movie work. If it was animated, it would still be great, don't get me wrong. But having what's basically furries on set and poor green screens is what makes this movie even better and builds the tone of it all. This is probably so far my favorite film of the year and definitely the funniest. Sorry, Kung Fu Panda 4. I have a lot I want to say about it, and I feel like in my 2024 ranking video, I will definitely go into more detail. And then you follow up a black and white comedy with Batman. Oh yeah. I see the original 1989 Batman getting a lot of praise, but weirdly enough, I don't see the same thing happening with Batman Returns. Some people think it's too dark and edgy, some people think it could be darker, and some, like me, love Burton's iconic style paired with our favorite Batsy Boyo. 89 is pretty good, and Burton's signature style is built in that movie, but Returns makes it even better. The colors and different shadings pop in this movie. All the shades of dark blue and gray and black are so pretty in all the right ways that I never thought I'd praise a Batman movie for, or heck, a Tim Burton movie for. Matt Reeves' Batman has a lot of colorful moments, but the movie itself is dull and dark. This movie has a lot of dark moments, yes, but the dark is illuminated by the lots of colors and different shades. The cinematography and framing is also pretty great, and honestly, it makes the whole city feel claustrophobic, as is the score. Danny Elfman probably made one of the most iconic superhero themes ever with these movies. That iconic Batman score, it's so good. The theme is so amazing. And speaking of iconic, these villains. Penguin is so unapologetically goofy and dark. He's probably my favorite portrayal of the character and one of my favorite Batman movie leads ever. And his little penguin army is so cute with all the little deadly weapons on their back. Can I adopt one of them? They're so funny. And while Penguin is great, especially when he bites that white fella's nose off, I love that scene for some weird reason. Catwoman steals the show. This is Catwoman's movie more than it is Penguin's or even Batman's, and I honestly don't have any problem with that. Usually I would hate when a movie pushes a poorly written side character more than the actual entertaining and well-written protagonist, like Mando Season 3. But the difference here, however, is Michelle Pfeiffer gives an amazing performance for for an iconic villain that has great writing and an entertaining story. And her costume is probably one of the best costumes in any superhero movie. This is set in stone. Y'all are not changing my mind. This is up there with the Amazing Spider-Man 2 Spider-Man suit, like top 10 superhero movie suits. So good. And while I prefer how our situationship with Batman is handled in The Batman, this movie's portrayal of their dynamic is also great. And I love the scene where they realize the other's respective identity. It's too bad that they never gave Catwoman her own solo movie. Ever. That never happened. Dune Part 2 is such an amazing blockbuster. The reason it took me so long to watch it, honestly, besides not seeing the first till like April, was that my broadcasting teacher kept nagging me to watch it over and over and over. And at one point, I just watched it to shut him up. And yeah, it's pretty good. Not the best movie of 2024 or anything, but still pretty great. I like how the plot builds and how it uses so many different characters and plot points in so many different ways. The whole cast is great, and honestly, this feels like the best ensemble piece I've seen since probably Moonrise Kingdom. Timothy Chalamet is such a great lead, and after this Wonka and Little Women, he's becoming one of my favorite actors. Zendaya is great. Josh Brolin was a fun surprise since my dissociating self thought he died off screen in the first movie. Javier Bardem is the best hype man for Timmy Boyo. Florence Pugh is good for I want to say 5 minutes of screen time she has. She's honestly barely in this, or at least I forgot half of her scenes. And Austin Butler, for some reason, reminded me of Beavis and Butthead. And honestly, the best part of this movie, besides the absolutely amazing cinematography and score, please get nominated for an Oscar, I swear. Rebecca Ferguson. She's probably my favorite part of this movie. All the weird stuff with her and the Anya Taylor-Joy baby is just so off-putting and weird in all the right ways. And it's such an interesting, topic or whatever. Also, when she showed up, I literally yelled in excitement for her. I was like, Anya, she's in the movie. What? How? What? Why is she here? Honestly, I'm really excited for the third movie, but I also don't really see this as a masterpiece. It is very close to that, but I just see this as a really great action movie with a lot of really amazing moments. Personally, I think animation is the best way to tell a story because it allows for the most creativity in a filmmaker style, but puppetry is also up there in one of the probably most unique ways to make a film. If a movie has puppets or any form of puppetry, I will absolutely adore that film. From Muppets to Jabba and Yoda in Star Wars, and coincidentally, Audrey 2 in Little Shop of Horrors. I absolutely love this movie. I saw the stage version a few months ago at a local show and really liked it, and one of my friends told me that the movie was even better. And it was. Audrey 2 is such an amazing looking puppet. The musical numbers are even better here, and Rick Moranis is a really fun protagonist, with Ellen Greene as Audrey also being really great, but her voice kinda got on my nerves. She sounded like Toad. Bill Murray's cameo had me kinda flabbergasted, why is this man here and why does he have a dentist kink? It's just weird. It's funny, but it's really weird. The one thing that I didn't really like, though, is that they scrapped the song When Seymour Goes to the Dentist's Office, which was one of my favorite songs from the stage version. But honestly, other than that, I'd say this is better than the musical. No thanks to the ending. The original kinda had me shocked, and this one feels way more conclusive to the characters and to the themes of the movie. Though the scrapped ending that Frank Oz did make for this movie is so fun. Audrey 2 just becomes Godzilla, and it's so absolutely wild. If you haven't seen this movie and you like the Muppets, I'd consider watching this since the director Frank Oz was close friends with Jim Henson and voiced Miss Piggy, Fozzie, and half the other Muppet cast. And now we get the best movie of the month. The last movie I watched this month was Mad Max Fury Road. You guys and gals and everybody watching, listen. I watched this for the first time this month, literally on the last day of the month. And now it's literally number 18 on my favorite movie list. This is one of the most creative live-action movies I've ever seen with its visual style, besides maybe La La Land, Moonrise Kingdom, and The Batman. It's so amazing visually. The cinematography and the visual flair George Miller and John Seale put into this movie is one I can only idolize to recreate with some of my own films. The dude with the guitar, oh my lord, he's so cool. Tom Hardy is a great lead. Charlize Theron is amazing as Furiosa, and I'm sure Anya Taylor-Joy is good too in the new movie. And Nicholas Hoult was a fun surprise in this. I knew he was a good actor before, but he's such a standout in this already stacked cast. Even Zoe Kravitz is here, and while she doesn't really do that much, she's still great with the minimum amount of screen time she gets. The nonstop action set pieces always find a way to be creative and have so much ingenuity and brilliance in every shot of them. I'd love to make a full video discussing this movie because I have so much more to say. Bottom line is, if you're going to watch any movie out of this month, watch Little Shop of Horrors because it's just really fun and it's a lot more appropriate for kids. But if you feel like watching something that's back crap crazy, go watch this movie. It's one of the few action movies to get a Best Picture nominee, and it won 6 different Oscars. 6. That's huge. I adore this movie, and I haven't stopped thinking about it since I've seen it. 10 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know down in the comments what you think about these movies, and maybe give me some recommendations because I'd like to hear what you guys like. And also, I am still working on my video for Planet of the Apes. I have just been so busy this month with finals, but now that I'm out of school, I'll have time to work on this and a bunch of other videos. So stay tuned for more uploads, and I'll see you fellas and everybody later.